Okay, we're standing here with Scott. He is the product manager for Hayward's pump division. Now, let's go with a big question. Why would you want to go with variable speed?
Well, the simple answer is variable speed is going to save you a lot of energy, but more importantly, it's going to save you a lot of money compared to a single speed pump. Tests show they can save up to 80-90%, up to $1,500 a year. So you're going to save money for these pumps. They're going to pay for themselves. Other benefits, they're incredibly quiet. A single speed pump runs at one speed, and they can be noisy at times. A variable speed pump, you run it at a low speed, it's going to be very quiet. A couple other benefits, it's typically better for filtration, sanitization, because you're slowing things down. Everything's just kind of mellow. And that's better for the life of the equipment. Really, the final piece to that is that you're keeping water moving, and moving water is happy water. Versus a single speed pump, you might run 8 hours a day, 12 hours a day. That means it's not moving for 12 to 16 hours a day. So it really is a better experience for the pool, and it pays for itself while it's doing it.
So, I mean, Hayward has a pretty wide line considering, or when comparatively to the other manufacturers. You have at least 4 that I see here.
Yes.
Kind of tell us the difference, or why would you want to go with one over the other? Let's start with the Max Flow.
Fair play. Why would you go with the Max Flow? Well, first I'll say we've got 4 versions. They're different sizes. So the same way the industry's had for ever. Different sizes, a half, a 1, a 3 horsepower pump. The idea is you pick the pump that's the right size for the application. If you need to move a lot of water, you get the big pump. If you need to move not as much, you can get the medium. And if you got a kind of a basic pool only, or smaller plumbing, whatever the reason may be, you go with a pump like this. So this is Max Flow. This is our smallest variable speed pump in terms of its output. But it's ideal for a lot of pools, particularly in Florida, because there are a lot of, thankfully, Hayward Max Flow, Max Flow 2, Max Flow XL single speed pumps, and this is a drop-in replacement for it. It's basically 1.5 horsepower, and if that's more than likely what you're taking out, a 1.5 or a 1. So why put a 3 horsepower pump to replace a 1.5? So this is ideal for that type, I'll say smaller pool or older plumber.
Okay, let's go with the, let's just talk about the Super Pump real quick.
Super Pump is kind of Hayward's bread and butter.
It's the F-150, as you said?
F-150, it's been around forever, so we had to have a variable speed version of that because it's a drop-in replacement. But the same idea, about 1.5 horsepower, it's going to be the right size, and you're not paying for more than you need. You're not paying for F-250 when you only need an F-150.
And then you have like the premium was like the TriStar, because TriStar is a premium single speed pump, but you pretty much take that, and is it a 3 horsepower on
2
it?
different versions. So we have one that's a 2 horsepower and one that's a 3 horsepower. So same idea. We started with the 3 horsepower, and great pump, and you can turn it down, but you're paying for more than you may need. Again, if you're replacing a 1.5, you're paying for 3. You're paying for something you're never going to use. So we have a 3 horsepower version that you can move all sorts of water, but then we also have the 2 horsepower version when you don't need to move quite as much. So the same way pool professionals have been picking the right size horsepower forever. They look at the size of the pool and all the other stuff, and if they got water features or spas, and they go, you need a 2 horsepower. They can do the same thing here. So it can look intimidating, but the same thing they've been doing, they just do it now and pick the pump that's right for the application.
And kind of something that I saw recently, did you change the style of the controller? Because I feel like the other one had kind of the push buttons that you might see on a phone, and now it's kind of
It did. We did our original lineup, and then the Max Flow and Super Pump, they were not consistent. They did all the same things in terms of saving energy and were quiet, but it was like having to learn Apple and Android. They did the same thing, but you had to learn 2 different ways. So we've commonized the user interface now. So I guess to keep using the Apple analogy, you learn you learn your iPhone, you can use an iPad. They don't make iPods anymore, but they're all the same now. So the same user interface, they all program, function, and do the same thing in terms of how you program them, how you can rotate them in different positions, you can mount them on the wall. They all talk to Hayward automation. They can work with other controllers through relay control. So they all do the same functionality, and it just comes back to pick the one that's the right size.
And this is rotatable and mountable?
Yeah,
or?
so you undo these 2 screws and I can two different positions, because we learned that what looks good here in the showroom, in an equipment pad, when you're trying to read this and bend over backwards, not quite
it's not good for the back.
So it's just 2 screws, and I can put this in any 4 positions, or I can remove it and mount it on the wall with a wired connection. So it just makes it a little bit easier for people to have to deal with reading information that they didn't have on a single speed pump.
And kind of circling back to the sizing, if you have like a 1.5 horsepower, because we have a lot of people who might call and say they have a 1.5 horsepower max flow, and they want to be the big bad guy in the neighborhood, and he wants to get the big TriStar pump, and you only have 1.5 inch piping. We always have to talk them out of it. It's like, what's the best way to do
pumps,
that?
You got to be careful. Bigger is not always better when it comes to pumps, because you can actually damage the pump. You can what's called starve it. You're just not getting enough water into
cavitation.
it. Cavitation, exactly. And so we don't recommend, for instance, our TriStar pumps on 1.5 pump, because you will likely starve them and create other headaches. You want to pick the pump that's right for it, and you'll get a better usage of that pump overall.
Scott, I think we covered it. I appreciate
Well, thank you much.
you giving us the time.
Thank you.
Have a good one.